I will and the whiteboard will be shown. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Namaste everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to have all of you this Sunday. As you know, my name is Ashutosh, and we meet every Sunday 8 a.m. US Pacific time to learn about the Hindi language. For those of you who are completely new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Hindi University. And if you're interested in joining the live session that we have every Sunday, you can get all the details on this page, which is tiny.cc/Hindi University. We manage it pretty frequently by all the senior students. They manage it. So if you want to see any further updates, you continue to check this one. Okay. So if you want to join the Sunday classes, you can find the link on this page. Similarly, if you missed any of the previous classes, you can get the details here, the links to the books that we've been following, as well as the practice session, right? And we continue to have new and exciting things. And today we'll be talking about the Hindi speaking challenge as well from Sheila ji and Anita ji, right? So it's a great resource for all of you to sort of look into. Okay. As you know that we've been following a parallel track, which is basically we are covering stuff for beginners as well as intermediate plus, and it's a blended curriculum of several books, including the book from Professor Richard Delacy. He teaches Hindi at the Harvard University. His book is Elementary Hindi, and similarly Pingu learns Hindi. And then for intermediate plus, we cover stuff from Professor Usha Jain, Advanced Hindi, as well as Rupert Snell, Kavita Kumar. Okay, so pretty much a blended curriculum there. Okay, and as you know that we've been focusing on right now on chapter 12 of Richard Delacy's book. So we spent like past few weeks talking about past tense. If you guys remember, some of you, right? So we spent good amount of time talking about like past tense and the type of sentences. So we cover habitual past tense, and then we covered some of the intransitive verbs as well. So this class will continue the same topic. Okay. If I may ask some of the folks who attend the previous classes, what kind of sentences you guys are comfortable so far based on what we've done in this particular last few classes. So you can unmute yourself and give a sample sentence that you think we've done and you feel comfortable. So that way, I'll tell you what next for us in this class. So feel free to unmute yourself and you can share in the past 3 or 4 classes when it comes to past tense, what kind of sentences you feel comfortable, saying it in Hindi.
मैं किंगस्टन रहती थी.
Okay, very good. So मैं and the name of your city, रहती थी. Okay, awesome. Habitual past tense. I used to live in. So मैं a town में रहती थी. Amazing. Okay, I used to live in a place. Wonderful. What else?
मैं आराम से सोई.
Go ahead.
Go on, Donna.
Finish it. It's okay. One after the other one. So Jackie ji, you can go first. It's okay.
मैं आराम से सोई.
Okay, very good. So essentially you're saying मैं. Okay, there's no space in here. You can use adverb though, but essentially what you're saying is मैं सोई. So I slept. Okay, wonderful. I slept peacefully or comfortably. आराम से सोई. Okay. Who else? You can see the difference. Habitual past tense, simple past tense, and मैं सोई. That the verb is सोना.
Okay, can I say?
Yes, please.
This time using the in case of there is object. मैंने खाना खाया.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so you are saying मैंने खाना खाया. So some of you may already be familiar with it, but you can see that in these two sentences you have the pronoun मैं, subject basically, and in this one along with it there is a postposition ne. Okay, this verb is following the similar format, conjugated similarly, just like soi. It's like, khaya is there, and then this is your object, food. Food is your object. Okay, we have not, so this class we will do this the third variety. We'll dig deeper into it. Okay, awesome. Who else can make some simple sentences? I'm gonna write it down. This is habitual past.
Can I try one, Ashu?
Yes, please.
बचपन में
Uh-huh.
मैं अक्सर समुद्र में जाती थी.
Okay, so you said मैं ocean. I'm gonna just say ocean. मैं ocean में. Okay, मैं, as you know, is subject in the ocean. मैं ocean में जाती थी. Okay, I used to go to the ocean. Ocean is samudra. Same thing. It's your variety number 1. Okay, let's call it variety number 1, variety number 2, and then this one is variety number 3. So this is again number 1, right? So I used to go to the ocean, and because it indicates that something that you used to do frequently as a habit. Okay, that's why it's again variety number 1, habitual past tense. Okay, so far so good. What you notice is the difference between when you talk about simple past tense, something that happened in the past. There are two sort of subcategories. One is this one, मैं सोई, which we did in the previous class. I slept, versus मैंने खाना खाया. Okay, what I'll do is I'll write down, before I get into the nitty-gritty of what type of verb, etc. I'm going to write some sentences, and I want you to think about what is the difference that you see in these sentences, because that's very important. It's when I tell you in terms of definition, it may not come to your mind right away, especially when you want to say something in Hindi. So it has to really come automatically, right, as you're speaking it. So I'm going to write some sentences, and you have to tell me the subtle difference, or the difference that you see in those sentences. Okay, so as you know, I'm going to write right now in English. English is an SVO language. You have a subject, verb, and object. And Hindi, as you know, is subject, object, and verb. Right? So I'll write it in English, something that Uni also mentioned, which is I ate an apple. Okay, you have a subject, okay, and then you have a verb, and then you have an object. I ate an apple. Simple. So far so good. I'm going to write some more sentences, and I'm going to mix it up. Okay, I went, okay, to India. Okay, then you have I wrote a book. Okay, you have I laughed. I'm writing all of these sentences in past tense. I laughed. And then I'm going to write one more. She watched a movie. She watched a movie. Okay, read these sentences a few times. These are all written in the past tense. Okay, you will notice that there are different kind of verbs are there. This is to eat. Okay, this is to go, to write, to laugh, and to watch. Okay, there is some difference in the verbs here. Yeah, and you can really put these sentences into two separate buckets. Okay, what is the thing? What is the classification? If you want to separate out these sentences into two different buckets, okay, how would you do that? Let's ask Donaji. Donaji,
Transitive and intransitive verbs.
but let's say I don't know what those are.
Okay. One's with objects and one without objects.
Okay, so how do you know if the sentences they have an object or not? What she's saying is, what she notices in these sentences, the 5 sentences, some sentences have an object. Okay, some may not have it or do not require it. Okay, and the question is, how do you know? Okay, let's keep going, Tanaji.
Okay, the like in the first sentence, I ate what? So it tells what I ate.
So what you're saying is in this one, I can ask this question: what did you eat?
Mhm.
Right? What did you eat? When somebody's saying I ate, and like, what did you eat? And the answer would be I ate an apple. Okay, awesome. Keep going this one.
With I went to India, that that answers where, so that's not
So the
a
question you
verb.
ask is where did you go? Not necessarily what did you do? Not necessarily what did you go?
Yeah.
Right? Where?
All right,
Right?
makes no sense.
Next one.
I wrote a book, so
Okay.
this has a what? What did I write, or what did you write?
What did you write? Awesome. Okay, awesome. And this one?
I laughed, no object, because you didn't laugh. What? You just laughed.
There's nothing. I mean, yeah, awesome. So you don't really see you laughed what? There is nothing basically. The what doesn't really make sense here. Okay.
Right. And the movie, what did I watch? I watched a movie.
Okay. What did you watch? Okay. It makes sense here. So as Donna summarized, sentences number like this one and this one and this one, they tell you about what. Okay, let's say there's one more sentences that I called my parents. What about this, Donali?
Well, that would be I called who?
Okay, I called who or whom, right? Whom did you call, right? So now tell us, is this, where would you put this one? It's not what, but it's who or whom.
It's also an object.
It's an
But-
object.
Mhm.
Okay, who did you call? I called my parents. Okay, so essentially what she's saying is like when you have sentences where there is a direct object, okay, how do you know direct object? If you can use this trick to find out if the questions can be framed with what or who or whom, then you know that there is an object in the sentence that is receiving the action. Okay, those verbs are called transitive verbs. So in this sentences you have this transitive verb. Transitive verb, I'm going to write tr. This is also a transitive verb. Okay, this is also a transitive verb, and then washed is also a transitive verb. These are called transitive verb because it reflects passing over. Passing over meaning like the action is passing over from subject to the object. I was looking up and it's basically derived from transitivus, Latin word. And you can see that there is a word, a transit itself is there in transitive, right? Transitive, which means the action is passing over, versus the intransitive verb where the action is not flowing, there is no object, the action is not really flowing. You don't really laugh what, right? You just laugh, okay? You just sleep. Similarly, you go somewhere, but you don't, somebody is not receiving the action of your, going. Okay, so before you go into the second variety of past tense, you really need to know, as you are talking in the native language, is it going to be a transitive verb or intransitive verb? Okay, when you're learning it from a grammar perspective, you can make sense of it, but when you're speaking it fluently, it can be a very hard exercise, because like even in English, I don't really pay attention. I just say, okay, I went to India, or I cooked food. I'm not paying attention whether it is transitive or intransitive. In Hindi, it becomes important. Okay. So far so good. Any questions on this one? We'll spend good amount of time talking about it, but I want to make sure, because this is an interesting topic and it often confuses people. So feel free to unmute and ask questions along the way. Okay, so I'm gonna erase it. Okay, I'm gonna erase it and I'm gonna continue brainstorming transitive and intransitive verb. One more property that you will notice is, like, When you're talking about English, like, you will say, I went to, let's say, I went to Paris. Now, whether it is I am saying it, Ashu is saying it, I'm going to say I went to Paris. Okay. Versus Aneska ji, Aneska ji, she's also going to say the same thing, I went to Paris. Okay. So, subject, regardless of the subject, you are saying the same thing. Okay. So far so good, right? I went to Paris. Now let's say you want to say in English the other sentence, which is like, I eat pizza, or I ate pizza. Let me write it down in fast. I ate pizza. Same thing. If I'm saying it, I'm going to say the same thing. I ate pizza, and Aneska ji is also going to say the same thing. Okay. I ate. Now let's see the same thing. We'll compare it with English. How will you say this one, Aneska ji? I went to Paris.
मैं Paris गई. Wait.
We'll say
Yeah,
मैं
मैं Paris गई. Yeah, that just popped out of my mouth. I didn't even think about it.
We'll say मैं Paris गई. How will I say it? मैं Paris.
Gaya.
मैं Paris गया. Okay. So in Hindi, as you can tell that it's basically for the type 1 simple past tense, jana is intransitive verb. Okay. The verb is getting conjugated based on the subject. If the subject changes, your verb conjugation changes. This is when the verb is intransitive. Okay. Now, English doesn't differentiate it. In English, you're gonna say the same thing. I ate pizza. Whether it is Ashu is saying it, Aneska ji is saying, it's the same thing. Okay. How about this, Aneska ji? Let's do it.
Well, this is a transitive sentence because of eating, and we're passing that over to the pizza. So I go मैंने pizza खाया,
You will say मैंने pizza खाया.
and you would say the same thing.
Okay. I will say the same thing. I will say मैंने, exactly same thing. मैंने pizza खाया. Okay. So the difference here is when the transitive verb is used in the past tense. Okay. Hindi, it's interesting because in Hindi, the control really goes to the object. Because there is an object that is being used, you will end up using a postposition here, ne, and it's really, rather than who is doing the action, who is the action applied upon. Okay. Pizza is considered masculine singular, so that's why both of us saying the same thing, even though it's a past tense, and we learned about in the simple past tense the subject sort of controls, the subject influences the conjugation of the verb. But if you notice, the verb is intransitive. It's only in those cases. If the verb is transitive, the object is influencing the verb conjugation. Instead of pizza, if it is strawberry, which is considered feminine, how would you say, Aneska ji, if it was strawberry?
What? Forgot the word for strawberry, but so मैंने strawberry खाई.
Right, very good, right? So don't worry about how to change these things right now, just see the difference, what's happening. And she said, मैंने strawberry खाई. I will say the same thing, मैंने strawberry खाई. Because strawberry is really strawberry that is determining or influencing the verb conjugation. Okay. This is just a property of the verb that you need to know, which is different from English. Okay. Any questions so far before I write some more sentences in front of you? So far we've only covered like two different types of verbs where there is a direct object, not verb, like sentences where you have direct object receiving the action of the verb, sentences where there is no direct object. Okay, that's number one thing we have covered. The second thing we have covered is how, when English, when you're saying the sentences in past tense or even in present tense, it's subject that is influencing basically. It doesn't differentiate whether it is a male or female in the sentence that you have. In Hindi, the verb conjugation it differs. Sometimes, most of the time, it's subject that is controlling it. Okay, but when it is transitive verbs mentioned in the past tense, it's the object. Okay, I'm going to erase it, and we'll keep building on top of it. Okay. So, because this thing requires some practice, so I'm going to write down some more examples for you, and I want all of you to mentally prepare it, whether it's going to be transitive or intransitive. Okay, so I'm going to write down some sentences, and you have to, in the Google or Zoom chat, basically, or Facebook, you have to write down number 1 transitive, intransitive, number 2, okay. So sentences I have is he came home. Okay, do it quickly, because that way it will, your mind will work fast, right? I gave a speech. I gave a speech. Okay, then you have a third sentence, which is basically we walked together. We walked together. Okay, then you have number 4, she spoke in French. Okay, this is an interesting one, but it's okay. She spoke in French. Okay. Okay, the fifth one is you went to Canada. You went to Canada. Okay, I want you to write down which of these sentences the verb is, there's a direct object, and which sentences there's no direct object. Okay, all of you. And you can use the Zoom chat, okay, to answer your yeah, just like how Aneskaji is writing it. Okay, okay, which one? JDG, you mentioned some are transitive. You can write down which one. Okay, some verbs can be used both as transitive and intransitive. We will learn about that. Okay, okay, keep trying. Okay, let's see. Scott G, you want to try it out with me? I'll help out. Okay, he came.
Okay. He came home. So that's a where, not a what. So that's intransitive.
Okay, very good. So this is really giving you the where. Okay, so this is intransitive. That is correct. Let's do one more with you. This one.
Okay. I gave a speech. That's a what. So it's
Okay.
transitive.
Very good, right? So this is giving me the what. So this is a transitive verb. Awesome. Okay, Uni, you want to do this one and this one?
Number 3, this is intransitive
Okay, it's intransitive. Why?
because there is no, we cannot make a question with why and who, whom.
Okay, it is really telling you the how. How did you walk?
Okay.
Manner in you walk, right? We walk together. It's not really telling you the what or who or whom. Okay, so you're right. It is a intransitive. This one also. She spoke in French.
Here in this sentence, I think this used as intransitive,
It's in this sentence.
but sometimes can be used as transitive as well.
Very good. Very good, right? In this one, it is really describing the manner in which she spoke. Okay, whether she spoke to someone, right? Awesome. So in this case, it is written as intransitive. Okay. Last one. Let's see who would do it. Meena ji, you want to do this one? Meeta ji, sorry. You went to Canada.
That would be intransitive because there is no there is no who or what.
Very good. And it is also giving you the answer where.
Yes.
Right? So far so good. I feel at least like it's everyone is coming together here. Okay. Okay, so now, so this is number one thing. What is the verb here, Mitaji? To come is,
Ana,
to give is,
Bena,
to walk is,
Alna,
to speak is,
Volna,
and to go is.
Jana.
Awesome. Okay. Now, we in the intransitive verb there was no issue, right? Because when this is intransitive, he came home. How would you say, Mitaji?
Um, so, Vaha Gar Aya.
Very good. Vah gar aya. The pronoun remains as is. You have the pronoun vah and you have as is. Vah gar aya. And this one, we walk together, would be.
Hum, gosh, hum dono chal, chalya? No, chaye, chale,
Chale. Very good. And together would be.
together.
You can say saath saath.
Okay, hum dono sat chaye.
हम साथ साथ चले. Okay, हम साथ साथ चले. Okay, again the bottom line is when you said we, you
Yeah.
said doesn't change as it is. Okay, again intransitive verb. Last one, you went to Canada.
Up Canada, Jaya or Jayi.
Okay, so it's Jana becomes in the past becomes
Gaia, sorry, Gaia, Gaia,
very good, right? So Jana becomes Gaye. Okay, so aap remains as it is. Okay,
right.
so the next thing is basically when you were saying the intransitive verbs in the past tense, the verb is getting conjugated, okay, but the pronoun remains as is, aap, tum, vah. The next thing is when you have the transitive verb, when they are used in the past tense, they're governed by a postposition called ne. Okay, they're governed by the postposition ne. Okay, ne. Okay, so what will happen is I'm going to erase it. I'm going to erase it here. Okay, so if it is aap, if your pronoun is aap, it will become aapne. Okay, if your pronoun is main, it will become maine. Okay, if your pronoun is we, it will become, who would say that? Tisina ji, if it is we, it will become we is they. What do you think? Okay, what about Tom? What do you think, Tom? If it is we and you add ne to it, it will become.
We're going to have to use the oblique form because of the nay. So would it be us or is?
Okay, very good. So it's वह becomes us plus ne, यह become is plus ne, and similarly वे becomes.
Is it uska?
So if it is singular, then
Yeah.
it is वह becomes उसने. Okay, right now we have to
Yeah.
put they and ne together.
Yes, the
Almost,
plural nay.
almost close, right? So you have singular which will become is, and plural will become.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm weak, Professor. What is the
Almost.
plural?
Just like is, you have in. So okay, so वह oblique case becomes is, and is plus ne is. Sorry, वह becomes us and is become usne. Okay, and वे becomes in plus ne becomes in. Who would like to try that? It's all very close.
Isne.
Jackie, huh? Jackie ji, we become
Hone.
where? Huh?
In hone.
Very good. In hone. In hone. Okay, it's tricky because it's like it comes from nowhere. Inhone. Okay. Think about it this way. I'll write down all of them, right? So this is way they becomes, you know, they plus the ne in Hindi. Okay, so similarly you have vah. I think I mentioned that vah becomes usne. Okay, and you have a yeh, which is this. Yeh becomes isne. Okay, and you have a con. Con is who. Con will become,
Kisne.
okay, kisne. Kisne. Awesome. Okay, so basically it's not difficult. What we are going over is we're just preparing for how to translate the other sentences that we have not done, which is the transitive sentence, which is I gave a speech, and then there's one more transitive one. Okay, so we're just practicing how to translate the transitive. Or I ate pizza. Okay, because as I said, the subject will be governed by the postposition ne. आपने, मैंने, इन्होंने, उन्होंने, हमने, तुमने, तूने, okay, सबने, okay, or किसने. So if you're hearing in a Hindi sentence, and you will hear it when we read the paragraph, you will hear the subject is being used with ne. Okay, that should give you the clue that there ought to be an object there. Okay, and the verb that is being used, it's a transitive verb. Okay, so far so good. Anyone finding it hard? You can be honest and then ask questions. Okay, so now let's do this one. I gave a speech. I'm going to erase the rest of them. Okay, I gave a speech. See who can translate this one. Let's say Scott, let's try with you. I gave a speech. You have a subject, which is, what is I?
It's going to be may.
Okay, and then, okay,
Mene.
this will, huh?
Mene, isn't it?
Very good. So मैं becomes मैंने. Awesome. मैंने. Okay. What is the object?
Speech. I'm not sure what the word is for speech.
You can just say speech. That's it, right? मैंने speech. Okay. What is the verb?
Lena.
To give is
Dana.
okay. Okay. Awesome. So मैंने speech. Speech is considered masculine singular. And when it is used in the past tense, you remove the na. Okay. Now give it a try. मैंने speech. Actually, speech is in English, in Hindi, when you say bhashan, then it is considered, you know, it's a little bit tricky, but it's okay. It's a feminine singular, sorry. When in Hindi, it is, you will say bhashan. Bhashan. Okay. So when you say maine bhashan, it will become, yeah, give it a try.
I'm sorry, I don't remember how to conjugate that
So,
word.
okay. So, khana, sona becomes soya, right? Khana becomes khaya. Just like that, dena becomes
Dea.
very good. Okay. So assume I wrote it in Hindi. Okay. So मैंने भाषण दिया. मैंने भाषण दिया. Okay. It's slightly complicated because there are too many things going on. The dena is also an irregular verb, right? So let me take a simpler one. Okay. If it was I ate a pizza, which is what we had.
Dr. G, could I ask a question?
Yes, please.
If Beisha is feminine, is it still dia?
So because I wrote it in Hindi, मैंने भाषण दिया. If it is English, मैंने speech, and if it is speech is feminine, so you will say मैंने speech.
D?
D.
Very good, very good, very good. मैंने speech दी. Okay. This is a little bit tricky. If you are a beginner, don't get confused. Hindi puts all the words into bucket. It has to be either masculine or feminine. So sometimes it's tricky because you'll be like, you said speech is a speech, whether it's how do you know that, right? So it's just like it's a funny phenomena in Hindi that when the word is written in English, it is considered feminine, but it's written in Hindi, it's considered masculine. There is no rule to it, to be honest with you. I wish I wish I could make it easy for you, but this one you have to learn it as you sort of your vocabulary and knowledge of the language evolve. Yeah.
Okay, Dhanyabad.
So why don't I
Isn't it
have
true, Ashu, isn't it true that a lot of borrowed English words become feminine? Like kalam and
yes, yes.
pen.
But at the same time, like computer, how do you know that? Like computer is computer, right? But computer is considered masculine. So again, it's hard to give a rule. Like but you're right. Like majority of them, you will be considered feminine. Right. So let's do this one. JDG. I ate a pizza. I ate a pizza.
Mene pizza kaya. Kaya.
Many, and your mental dialogue is it's just tell your mental dialogue so people can understand it, not just the translation, but how are you coming to it fast, basically.
Mene, because it's past tense.
Okay, past tense, but how you first thought that this written,
Transitive.
okay, transitive, because it's you eat something,
Right.
right away you put me and then you put ne here, okay, then you said pizza,
Yes.
okay, and then the verb is
Kaya.
khana.
Yeah. Now, is what's the gender of pizza? I assumed it was masculine. I don't know.
That's right. So because it's masculine, you remove the na and you put khaya. Okay. Maine pizza khaya. Okay. Same thing if it was JDG. I ate a strawberry. It would be
Mene, strawberry. Now we need the gender of strawberry here.
feminine.
Feminine. Oh, kai.
Strawberry khai. So this is masculine singular. This is your feminine singular. Again, to repeat, this is not really by the subject, it's by the object. Okay, regardless of whoever is saying it, they'll just say the same thing. Okay, let's do some more. Let's do masculine plural and feminine plural also. What do you know? Any other dishes that you know, which is basically you eat a lot? Let's see. Gulab jamun, JDG.
What is it?
Gulab jamun, the Indian dessert, the cheese balls.
No.
Which one do you know? Which your favorite dessert in
I don't eat Indian food. It's all on fire. It's all on fire.
Okay, so what's your favorite other desserts that you like?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Okay, so let's do ice cream. Let's say you eat a lot of ice cream.
Okay, mene. Can you use bahut?
Okay, bahut. Okay, very good.
Ice cream. Now again, masculine or feminine? Is this
Feminine.
kai?
So there is a nasalized sound, but it's basically
Kain.
mene ice cream khai. Okay, let's say I'm going to give you this one, laddu. Laddu is some of you may know is the
Oh, that's sweet. That's not on fire. That's edible.
So it's considered masculine, and laddu is like same thing, but it's a masculine plural. How would you say, JD?
Mene ladu kaye.
So you have mane, laddu, and then this is khaya, and this is khaye. Right? So this is masculine plural. So the difference to notice is when khana is used in the past tense for masculine singular, it becomes khaya in the past tense, which is what we use khaya. For masculine plural, it's khaye, maine laddu khaye. For feminine singular, it's khai, which is strawberry. Okay, and for feminine plural is khai with a nasalized sound, khai. Okay, so I hope you can see it. If it is too fuzzy, let me read it one more time. Khaya, khaye, khai, and khai. Okay.
Ashwini,
Yes.
if you were speaking to a native Hindi speaker and you
Huh?
said "Mene pizza kai," would they just they would understand, but they might just laugh and say, "Oh no, it's kaya."
That is correct. They will understand it, you know. But if you ask them also why is pizza considered masculine, they won't even have any answer. I can tell you that. Right. So don't think of it as a weakness. As any native speaker, they just speak, right? They may or may not know the nitty-gritty grammar behind it. And forget about Hindi speakers, even teachers won't know like why certain things you put in masculine versus feminine category, right? So it's a very genuine mistake actually.
So
And
just have a go, and they'll correct you if it's.
it will go unnoticed. For the most part, it should go unnoticed, right? Because if you ask them why is it that, like they'll say it's just like that, right? So so to me it's a very innocent mistake, like because it's there's no way, right? I mean, there's no way for you to kind of put it, right? Pizza is not an Indian dish, right? So
Thank you.
yeah, right. Okay, so now let's do some more. In Pingu Learns Hindi, I cover some additional sentences, which is so just like this. We have likhna, right? So letter. So I wrote. Right? You write something. So I'm going to erase it. We have time, right? Okay. So I'm going to do just one quick. Okay. I wrote. So now in this case, let's say I don't really write an object. Even though it requires an object, I wrote. Okay. To write, as you know, is likhna. To write is likhna. Okay. Let's do. Let's see. Sushailji, you want to write out? How will you say I wrote?
मैं I wrote लिखी
Okay. So the subject will be governed by which postposition?
मैंने लिखी that should be
There is no defined. Huh?
feminine singular.
Yes. No. So if there is no object given, by default it go to masculine singular.
Oh yes.
So you'll say मैंने.
Kaya
To write is
oh right लिखा
मैंने लिखा. Okay. Very
मैंने
good.
लिखा
So you and I will say the same thing. You will say मैंने लिखा. I will say मैंने लिखा. Okay. Let's say now it's a letter. Letter is patra. Patra is masculine singular. So you and I will say the same thing. मैंने patra लिखा.
लिखा
Okay. Let's say you and I wrote both an email. Email is considered feminine singular. You will say मैंने email. Sorry, email. It's fine. Email. Okay. It can be written both ways, but okay. It's okay. Say it. मैंने email.
लिखा
Okay. So this is funny because like the way it works is if it is a long email, a long message is likha. If it is a short one, is likhi. And yeah, so it's okay. I'm gonna put it still in the likha category, not to confuse you guys. It's okay. मैंने email likha. It's fine. Let's do different one. A poem. Maybe this is an easier one. मैंने poem.
मैंने कविता लिखी
Very good. मैंने कविता लिखी. Okay. Kavita is feminine, singular. Okay. You wrote multiple poems. It will be
मैंने कविताएं लिखी
very good, right? So kavita is singular, poem. If it is poems, it will be kavitaye. kavita ye likhi. Likhi with the nasalized sound. Okay. Patra is singular. If it is plural, either you can say patra itself or you can say bahut. Okay. Maine bahut patra would be likha becomes likhe. Okay. There is a famous song basically. It's an old song, probably in 70s, which is basically, I can write it down, which is likhe. Likhe. It's interestingly the Vidyaji. Do we have Vidyaji in the class? No, right? Not today. She has a pretty good bank of like the songs, right? So, but the guy says likhe, and it's, as I said, Hindi is flexible, right? So it's even though the sentence structure is subject SOV, but the Bollywood songs will just, even like generally people will take the liberty, right? So let me write it down to you and you can dissect it. So the guy will say likhe jo khat tujhe. Okay, you can Google it and you'll find the song, but it's nothing but jo is which, right? Khat is letter. Okay, tujhe is to you. To you. Okay, the letters that I wrote to you, basically, that the guy is singing to the actress, basically, right? Likhe jo khat tujhe. But if you think about it, the word here is, or the verb here is likhna. Okay, but likhna is said in the past tense, that the letters that I wrote to you, right? And he's not saying that likha jo khat tujhe is not like one letter that I wrote to you. I wrote you many letters, right? So that's why it's likhe. Okay, it's slight detour, but at least when you hear it, it should sound somewhat familiar to you, right? It's a long topic. I want to continue in the next class also, because it doesn't end here with transitive and intransitive. Like, it's not as easy. There are verbs which are transitive in English, but not transitive in Hindi. So we want to spend time making sentences for those as well, right? So those are called exceptions, basically, right? Similarly, there are verbs in Hindi that can be used both as transitive and intransitive, right? Such as bolna, which Uni mentioned, right? I mean, in this sentence, it is intransitive, right? So those are the things I want to spend a good amount of time on, right? So I think we don't want to rush. We'll do two things we need to do. We need to do reading. But before that, we need to make an announcement, like, which is basically the Hindi speaking challenge that the new initiative which some of the you senior, Hindi learners have sort of started. So I want to, do we have, let me see, Shilaji, you there?
Yes, I'm here, Ashutosh.
You want to be the presenter, or you want to just share it?
I'm sorry, so what did you say?
You want to be presenter, you want to present something, or you want to just announce it? I want to give you the opportunity to talk about the Hindi speaking challenge.
I can talk about that, yes. I think Anissa hasn't been able to be here today, but I can do that.
Okay, awesome. So I know Anita ji is not here, but so we recently started this speaking challenge. So Sheila ji is going to talk a little bit about that. So let's do that, Sheila ji.
Okay, so let's go right back to the beginning, where Anissa ji actually discovered a speaking challenge for many different languages on the internet and decided to take part in it. And several of us decided to go along and support her, myself, Carmen, Aneska and Donna, and a few other people dripped in and out. Excuse me if I've forgotten anybody, but it was actually really an interesting thing to do. We had to record ourselves speaking and then have some comments back on how our pronunciation was, how our grammar was, whatever, So
if I'm completely new to this process, if I'm hearing for the first time, how do I participate, and where do I post my audio?
So we decided to open a Discord channel. So you need a link to the Discord channel. And yeah, just come along and either ask Anita or myself to give you access to the Discord channel. And we have a series of prompts there, which will be 10 prompts each month. And start with very simple ones we've all done, our introductions, what hobbies we like, that sort of thing. And record yourself talking for a couple of minutes, no longer than that's necessary, just to get into the way of things and get some feedback from your colleagues on how you're saying things and the words you're using and what have you.
Second question I may have, people may have, Sheila ji is like, I'm completely new. I can barely speak. I can only speak for like 2 or 3 sentences. Like, मैंने खाना खाया, मैंने पानी पिया. Is that, can I still?
Absolutely okay. You say, we're not talking about reading a big story that's several pages long or even several paragraphs long. A couple of sentences to start off with, just get your feet under the table and feel comfortable with it. That's absolutely fine. We all start there. We all started there, just saying a few sentences, trying it out. So yeah, do come along and participate. The more people that participate and the more people at higher levels that give everybody feedback, the better it'll be for everyone.
Awesome.
And I believe Kelly and I are going to do a little bit of Discord show and tell after this.
Okay,
So
shall I ask the question?
I have a question then. How do you record, and then how do you upload the recording, and how do you listen to recordings?
Okay, so you can use any app on your phone to record. We suggested one called Vocaroo because that just happened to be what we used in the other challenge. But there's loads of these around. Your phones will have apps that you can record. Those will give you a file. Most of them will give you a URL to a file. So if you use Vocaroo, it keeps the recording you've made for, I think it's several months, and then it's just discarded. And you get a URL to that file. And you post that URL to the file, just as you would post any text into a message on Discord.
Spell it for me, Sheila ji. I can write it down.
VOCROO.
VOCR.
CAR.
VOCAR. Okay.
Yeah.
CAROO.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you upload that URL to the section of Discord.
Copy and paste it is all you need to do when you have a URL.
But there's lots of different Discord things.
Well, there's a speaking channel.
Next time, Sheila G, I'm just thinking it would be great to see this. So
I
when,
thought that was what we were going to do after class.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So JDG, Sheila G and I are actually going to show you what this looks like so you can see it.
Oh, okay, great. Great.
Basically, you're just uploading that URL to the prompt that you're referring to. So if you're giving your introduction, you put your prompt on the introduction thread.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip because in the interest of time, and this is the important one, right? So I'm gonna skip the reading part, and we'll spend, because we want to make sure this part is clear and well conveyed to everyone and all the questions are answered, right? So I'm gonna skip the reading part today. We'll cover it in the next class along with some of the other part of transitive and intransitive stuff. Okay, so Sharon ji has a question. Sharon ji, go for it.
So I was just wondering, the bit that we prepare, is it meant to be prepared like you do an essay, or are you meant to just speak it like you would normally try to speak to someone?
You can do either way, Sharon. So if you're very confident, or if you want to practice off the cuff speaking, then please just do it off the cuff. If you're a bit less sure about that and you'd rather write it out for yourself and prepare it and then read it, that's perfectly okay as well. And in fact, you can do a bit of a mixture where you can do a bit of preparation in terms of maybe some new vocabulary you want to use, and then just wing it using that prepared list in front of you. So you can really do what you are at, whatever it is that's challenging to you. If actually speaking at all is challenging, then please prepare what you want to say and then read it. That's absolutely fine. If you want to do it as if you were trying to speak to someone who was talking to you, so you're being a bit more relaxed, not prepared for the conversation, then try and record it like that. But it doesn't have to be long. It just has to be a few sentences, a couple of lines, a couple of minutes of audio is actually, you say quite a lot. So any form is fine.
Right, thanks.
Right. So do you want to, Kelly ji, do you want to show this thing on Discord, which will also cover the Discord, like basic questions if people may still have it. So thank you, Sheila ji, so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I think it'll be great if we can show Discord in general, because some folks are new. They may still not be on Discord. So I think if one of you want to share, I'm going to make both of you co-host, and we can go over Discord, and then within that, in the show and tell, go over some of the high level stuff, and then go to where people will be posting the speaking challenge. Kelly ji, you want to show? I made you the co-host, so in case if you want to share your screen, or if you want me to share my screen, I'm okay with that also.
Sure. Well, you know what I was thinking is, Sheila G, why don't you share, just to pick up on where you were, is share your screen so you can show them exactly what you were just talking about, because it's so much easier to see it.
Okay.
It's such a great initiative, and I've been listening to the Vocaroos, and it's great. I'm hoping to pick up on it too.
Okay, I'll share my screen now.
Okay, so hopefully everyone can see. Yeah, I can see it.
So hopefully you're seeing my Discord screen. And so you will see here a thing that says, welcome to the speaking challenge. And a channel in this column here saying speaking challenge. So if you go to welcome to the speaking challenge, then what you see is a link to our welcome document, which is definitely where you should start and read. Yeah, and that explains basically the background to it, gives you the link to Vocaroo. If you're new to Vocaroo, you can use a little video to help how to use it, but you can use any audio. Yeah. And then we have the list of the first prompts that we've put up. So we're going to do 10 of these every month. And these are the first ones. So introduce yourself, starting very simply, something we all have to do and we've all done, through to perhaps more complicated things. Talk about your childhood, past tense practice like we're doing today. Why are you studying Hindi? So they're going to be a series of different sort of bits of grammar, opportunities to practice some new vocabulary, opportunities to talk about something that really is of interest to you. So there's one on hobbies, for example. So if you've got an obscure hobby, like I happen to have, you'll have some very different vocabulary. You're talking about food, we'll all have very similar vocabularies that we're talking about. So quite a range there. So if I go back to Discord, then once you've got your audio, you need to post it to the appropriate prompt. And so you'll see all the prompts here, 1 to 10. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted, for example, to describe a book that you've read, go to that and go down to the plus sign here and add in your URL, yeah, for your Vocaroo. I should have prepared one earlier, as they say. So you just type in here any text you want, plus your audio link. Yeah.
Yeah. One question that people may have, Sheila, is like, my schedule is very busy. I'm doing, on the weekdays, I'm really busy at my work or somewhere else. I only get time in certain points of the week. What if I'm available only in some weeks and I'm not available in like 2-3 weeks after that, and I come back again? Like, so my schedule is really dynamic. How can I still stay engaged?
I think we're all like that, and that's why we put up 10 prompts in a month. So next month there'll be another 10 prompts go up. You can do them in any order. You don't need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go 1, 10, 9, 21, jump all over the place as what you want to do and what's appropriate for your learning as well, what you want to be challenged with. So yeah, I mean, I think most people did actually sort of start with an introduction. And there you'll see there, Carmen, for example, that's her URL. And if you click on that and go to that.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम कार्मेन है, मेरी मातृभाषा स्पेनी है.
I'll leave it there. So that's how you would hear Carmen's recording.
Mhm.
If you then wanted to make some comments on this recording, this is the way to do it here. This reply button. If you're just hovering on the message, you'll get this reply button. If you're on a phone or another device, it will be maybe slightly different, but certainly on the PC, on the desktop, that's where you reply. And the reason for doing that is when you do that reply, you get a link here back to Carmen's original message, which means that if I do just my test comment in there and post it, then if someone else comes along and sees my comment and thinks, oh, what is it that Sheila was really commenting on? I don't understand it. You can click on this up here, which is this first line, and that jumps you all the way back to Carmen's original comment. And that overcomes this issue of everything that's added and added and added and added on WhatsApp not being related to each other. So it's really important to use that plus sign for a new audio, and then your reply arrow to reply with your comments to anything that you're commenting on in terms of the grammar or the vocabulary or the pronunciation, anything like that.
One more question I have, and people may have it as well, Sheila ji. What if in the first go, for first few weeks, I just want to watch how others are doing because I'm a little bit nervous. The recording fear is there for me. I want to just watch it, get inspired from people. Then I sort of do it. Is that okay? Can I still join? Like
Of course. That's always the spirit we do things in. You can watch and listen before you put your feet in.
Okay.
And you can listen to all the recordings. So let's go right back up to the top of this one. There's quite a few in there now, which is my one that I did to start everybody off. So if you were coming along, you can go straight to the top of the first prompt and you think, oh, Sheila's posted a point there. You just click on the audio link and you're listening to my audio. Yeah. And you can see some replies. You can go down and listen to another audio. Sue posted an audio. I know Sue's here today. So yeah, just wander around. If you go to prompt 2, you'll see some more. Sue's, I know, posted another one here. And there she's used a different audio system to upload her audio. So you can use anything. This looks like it's maybe come from an iPad or something, I don't know. But you can use any audio system that you have. We just suggested Vocaroo because it's very easy to use.
Awesome. Any questions, anyone?
Yes, I just want to confirm, should I join this initiative? Would I have to do all 10 or can I pick and choose and do what I'm able to do?
You can absolutely do what you're able to do. The idea of giving 10 was just a nice round number over a month. You know, that you can either do 10, you can do 10 in one day if you really feel up to it, you know, or you can spread it across the month. Or if you only have half an hour, you know, a month to dedicate to this, you could listen to some people's recordings and comment on them, or maybe record 1 or 2 of your own, and they don't have to be in order. You don't have to start at number 1. If you'd like to talk about your childhood and practice your past tense, jump in at number 9. If then the next week you decide you want to talk about, you know, what you eat and the food that you like, jump in at number 3. There's no order here. They're just 1 to 10 is purely to to give them some sort of order on the page here, really. So there's no inherent order in what you have to do. You don't have to do number 1 before you can progress to number 2. You don't have to do 10 in a month. You don't have to do 3 a week. You don't have to do 1 every day. It's entirely up to you. And for anybody that's on the call that is more linguistically advanced than myself, we'd all really like to have some really good constructive feedbacks on, first of all, whether you can understand us. Secondly, whether our pronunciation has some bad habits in it. Whether our vocabulary is appropriate, maybe there's a better word, more a commonly used word or a less commonly used word in use. You know, anything that makes sense to comment on, really, because that's the way that people will improve their speech and their grammar and their writing. So most of us have actually tried to write the Devanagari as well. So sometimes we make a few typos in there, which will be good to pick those out. And in fact, I think certainly on my introduction, when I first did it, Anita G did pick out a couple of things that I got wrong, which was great as a first post so that people can see that. And once you get access to this, you'll see that people have been quite open about commenting. Sometimes it's just a comment back to say they understood and to comment on something that was said. But as I say, more advanced speakers, please comment.
Thank you so much, Sheila ji. For folks, we're slightly over time. Thank you so much for folks who are watching on Facebook as well. If you are interested, please do reach out. I'll be sharing with you the link to join the Discord group. You can find it on the tiny.cc page as well, how to join the Discord group, as well as if you're interested in joining the Sunday classes, we can share the WhatsApp group with you as well. It's not public. It's WhatsApp is really shared with folks who are at least showing some interest to join the classes. Okay. I'm going to stop the broadcast so we can just take the questions if there are more from within the group only. Okay, so stop the broadcast.